Welcome, friends. Thanks for coming back to my kitchen. This is Vicki Lynn Haycraft with realfoodliving.com, and today we're going to make a simple recipe that you can make from storage. It's great for holidays, it's great for camping, and it's homemade matzah. If you're not familiar with the term matzah, it is simply unleavened bread, and it is the bread in the Bible that talks about not having any yeast, not having any leaven, and it is the bread of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, also affiliated with Passover. But it's also great for people who take communion and want to have homemade communion bread. For years we had the boxed kind of matzah every Passover, and our children said it tasted like cardboard. So we decided to make whole grain, homemade matzah that wasn't so afflicting. Now, bread of affliction is supposed to be tough, but it's not supposed to be like cardboard. Now, this recipe is very simple, and it's simply 2 cups of hot water, 2 tablespoons of butter or oil, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of honey, and that's optional, and you can use any sweetener that you prefer, and 4½ cups of whole wheat flour, more as necessary. So we're going to simply take the hot water, it's not boiling, it's just hot, put it into a bowl, and because we are non-dairy, most of us here, I'm going to use olive oil instead of butter. You can use coconut oil, you can use any type of fat that you like, and then the honey. And don't worry, I will put the recipe beneath this in the description. This is raw honey. And 2 teaspoons of good salt. Alright, so I'm going to mix that together. And then 1 cup at a time, I'm going to add the whole wheat flour. This is freshly ground Prairie Gold. And you can use any flour that you like. You can even make this recipe, with some adjustments of course, with a non-gluten flour. And I'll have a video on making gluten-free matzah in the future. This is 2 cups. Three cups. Now, we may not be able to get all of the 4½ cups in. We want a good sturdy dough, but we don't want it too stiff. I'm going to switch to a spoon at this point. Here's our 4th cup, and I'm only going to go ½ a cup at this entrance and see how we do. Okay, we're still pretty soft. I'll add the other half, and now we're up to 4 cups. Now, it's important to understand that there is no yeast and no leavening in this, so this will be a flat bread. So don't expect this to rise, because it won't. Okay. We want to get up all the flour in the bottom. It's still a little too tacky to knead, so I'm going to add another ½ a cup of flour, and that'll bring us up to 4½ cups. Now, in your particular home and your humidity, depending what the humidity is in the area, you may take 3 cups, you may take 4 cups, you may take 4½ cups. You want to go by the texture rather than counting. And when the texture is not too stiff, but able to knead, then you want to turn it out. Okay, now we're getting up all of the pieces. It's still a very soft dough, but it's coming together. So I want to get all of this off here. And now I want to just knead it in the bowl. That's one thing about using a big bowl. You can knead your preliminary kneading within the bowl. And this is getting up all those pieces, so I don't want to waste any. And it's starting to firm up underneath my hand. But it's still a little tacky. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more flour, and I'm going to knead for about 6 minutes, and then I'll be back to show you what it's like after kneading. Hi, I'm back a little early. When we turned the camera off, I thought, you know, maybe it might be helpful to some of you to show you how to knead. There is one way to knead in the bowl, and I like to do that. It keeps it off my counter. And I simply have a large bowl, and I turn the dough into itself and over again. If you don't have a large bowl, or you don't like to knead in the bowl, you can knead on a counter, and I have this right here, so we'll show you how to do that. Move that bowl out of the way. It's very simple. I'll flatten it out, get all these pieces off my hands, fold it into itself several times, and just push down. And as I'm pushing down, I'm rolling away from myself with the with the palm of my hand, this part right here. And I'm really leaning into it. And as I do, I can feel that the tackiness is going away, and it's firming up. It's not sticking to my hands, it's even peeling off, picking up these pieces here. But the texture's changing, and what that is happening is it's developing the gluten. And it's so great to do it by hand because you can actually feel the changes happening. So fold it over, push it away from you, turn it around, fold it over, push it away from you, and really lean into it. And this is starting to look great. Okay, so I'm going to continue kneading this for 6 minutes, and then I'll be back. Welcome back. I've just about finished the kneading, and you can see the texture has changed. It's not tacky, but it is still somewhat soft. And we kneaded it for about 6 minutes. Now, in most bread recipes, you're going to rest the dough, but in this recipe, because it's an unleavened bread, we're not going to rest it. What we're going to do is divide it into 2-ounce balls, and we're going to fashion them into round pieces, matzah. Now, I don't add extra flour at this point because I don't want it to be too heavy. I do add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I do this with all my breads. I don't add oil to the counter, I add oil. And I find that that conditions the dough, and it makes it soft, pliable. So what I'm going to do here is cut off 2-ounce pieces. I'm going to weigh this on my scale. And that's 3 1/4, so I don't want that. 2 1/2, almost. Okay, that's a 2-ounce portion right here, and that's going to be a matzah. So I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of the dough, and I'll be back in just a few minutes.